How's that? Once you find the switch, it works. Okay. All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the next demo. Ooh, too loud. Yeah. Okay. It's good now. I got too close to my mouth. Anyway, it was a couple of magazines ago that there was a box with an offset ring, a Saturn box or whatever, Saturn, you know. What was it? A couple of months ago, something like that. Yeah. So a couple of months ago, and Bernard, I saw the picture of it. I usually get the magazine every month. I go through it, but I hardly ever follow, any of these examples in there. And when I do, I just look at the first picture and then I do it. I never bother to figure out how they do it once in a while, but more as interest. Anyway, Bernard did one of those things, and it got me going. So I decided to make one also, and I made this one here. I can pass this one around. I modified the design a little bit. I don't know what you call this ring. I kept with an offset center, and a slight offset, or I don't know what you call it. A slant on the top, and I added a movable element, so the ring moves. So I can pass this around. This is we'll probably don't do the movable part today, but the rest of it we might do depending on time. And what I expect, what we see today is going to look more like this, not as finished, because the truth of the matter is, unless you're a production turner, it takes more time than an hour to turn one of these pieces, usually, to turn them to perfection, okay? And so we're going to stay more in this direction, a little bit thicker, a little bit cruder, of course not sanded, but the method and the tool work is the same. It's just that you have to take more time to do it carefully. So I'll pass this around on this side. So anyway, let me see. I found a piece of wood on Wednesday, and Bernard, correct me if I do something wrong, because you've done this. Take a piece of wood. I prepared it. I made it round, and I drew a couple of circles in the front, which is not necessary to do. Basically what you have the center is for the outside, and an offset for the bowl. And I don't know. I can't see the monitor, so okay. Now you don't need to do this. All you need is to have the center, and then do the offset. Now I have to, in the way we start off like this. That is not the center. Now when you pick the offset, you have to remember that as you move to the one side, you get twice as much on the other side. So because that's how it works. What you take away on one side, you're adding to the other side. So if you're taking 1 centimeter on one side, you're going to get 2 centimeters overhang on the other side. Okay, now let's see what we got here. Try the other direction. Okay. All right, it runs pretty smooth because I did this last night. And the front is not trued yet. Now we have to decide which is the front and how big you want that bowl to stick through that ring. And I think I don't have a pencil here. So anyway, I think I'll have to think about this for a second now. We make this side the top. We need to put a tenon in here to hold it. And typically what I do most of the time, I put tenons on both sides. This way I have the flexibility to move around. And the other thing is, if you look at the chuck, you see the size of the chuck here? Let me see, make sure it's closed. Okay, the chuck is not totally closed. It is just about where I would like it to be. We can see it from there when I have it closed, and that's so the jaws are flush with the body. Okay, this is the best way without getting damage on your hands. Now, in order to get that size, I have two ways. I can measure it or can eyeball it, and typically I don't measure it unless there's a really good reason. So all I have to do is look across here and make it the thickness smaller than the chuck. So I make a mark here and I eyeball it across. So this should be hopefully this is the size I need. The light is awful here. Can you see on the monitor what I'm doing? Because I can't. Okay. All right, I made the first mistake. This would have been necessary if I hadn't had this round yet. So I could turn this around and I could play with it. However, since I have it already round, all I have to do is move the chuck. And I have two places here. Where did it go? I got a hole there already. I think it's about there. I have two places. Turn down the speed. And I offset that piece. It's still flush with the chuck. It's still flush with the chuck. All I did is I offset the piece. Instead of center, I'm offset. That's all. No, you can't. So, and this would be 15 millimeters, which is a little bit too much. So I'm going to go for about 10 millimeters, which happens to be, I don't know if you can see this, but the ring from the tailstock is exactly a centimeter. So all I do is I go off 10 millimeters in the radius, and I have to find it again. Okay, and again now when you do this kind of trick with the chuck, you want to make sure this is somewhat hanging down there, and you also want to make sure that the chuck touches all around and evenly, because if it doesn't do that, the piece won't turn properly. It's gonna go strange, and there's going to be play, and the play will increase, and eventually this piece will come out of here. So you want to make sure that the jaws of the chuck have a good seat all around. Okay. So anyway, now we do the same thing. I'm going to get a bowl gouge now. That reminds me, I broke a bowl gouge yesterday, the first one in all my time of turning, and basically, it was a real surprise to me. I was turning that other little piece, and I was doing the bottom, and I had a little snag, not a catch, just the gouge got picked up a little, and it came down like this, and it broke right in half. It didn't get thrown anything; it just fell down, and it was a brand new one-way gouge, and I think it might have been defective because this was a first for me. I mean, I was totally baffled. Okay. This is side grain. So going in this direction, you have to take very small cuts because it's really going against the grain. If you want to remove a whole lot of wood, it'd be a lot better to do it this way. So anyway, we're just making a tenon now. I just have to catch about the same size. On this piece of wood, it doesn't really matter which side is top or bottom because it's pretty much the same all around. It's African mahogany. Okay, so we have a I'm working on my tenon still, and while I'm working on that tenon, I'm trying to decide where I'm going to put that ring. This part is going to get removed. This is more or less the size of the opening, and so I can. And this step here, I'm leaving the step for the chuck to index. So I'll take this off of here. So I identify the top of that bowl. And now I gotta move this closer. You're supposed to be always as close as possible. Huh? Yeah, I know. The first tenon was a mistake. The first tenon would have been necessary if I didn't have this all round yet. Then I could have, put it in the chuck and threw it up and whatever have you. The first tenon would be center to round the piece, which you can do it between here, or you can turn it around. I usually put a tenon on each side. So if I would have started, I would have put the round tenon, the center tenon, put it in the chuck, and then put another tenon on this side It's just habit, okay? It's not necessary, obviously. Well, we'll see. If I don't get this thing together, it was necessary. All right, so now we're gonna get the ring. Now, if you want to slant the top of the bowl later, we'll have to make that ring far enough down to have enough to do the actual slanting. So I'm going to give it a little bit more here. See, I'm taking too big a bite here. So if you go this way, it cuts a lot nicer. Okay, but to get it straight, I usually go this way. Okay, now we want to get that as straight as possible. So we're going to have to measure it, and if you have daylight in the middle, the outside is higher and the center is lower. So the trick is to get the ruler straight across. So I'm going to have to cut slightly in that direction. I should also bring my tool rest a little closer. So I put my tool rest slightly in that direction and close enough. Okay, so let's measure it again. Okay, and I picked the biggest part here to do the measuring. Okay, so now the outside is a little bit further back, and the center is a little bit further out, which is okay. It's easier to adjust that way anyway. So this part, if you want this right, you have to measure it continuously. So almost perfectly straight now, or perpendicular to the axis, whichever way you want to look at it. Okay, close enough. So now all I have to do is keep cutting straight the same way. So if I keep the cut the same thickness, I would stay perpendicular. So I'm going to adjust my tool rest a little. So if this is about straight, I may leave this as my final cut here. Okay, this is about as straight as it's gonna be. I don't know, can you see it at all? Okay, I can. Ha! Let's see now. Okay, so this is going to be the top. We should be able to put this in the chuck now. When I take this out, then you can see it a little bit better. So now from this side, you can see. It's not 100%, but it's pretty close. So whatever adjustment you need there now could be sanded, especially if the outside is a little bit thicker than the inside, because the way the sanding would work, if you put a flat piece of sandpaper on here, it would real quick just level this out. But okay, so my chuck, my tenon could have been a little bit smaller, but it's close. As you can see, it's just about perfect. Oops. Okay. You don't want it to stick out too much, and you don't want it to be too far in, because you get sharp edges also. Okay. I suppose, what am I doing now? We have to see. Okay, so what we do want to do now is we want to put the ring to its right thickness, and that other ball, the one that's going around, I did last night. I didn't do this one. I didn't do this way. I cut the I cut this a little bit different. Instead of putting it in the chuck like this, I just I did this side first, and I just put it. Oh, it shrunk. No, wait a minute. I put it on here, and I cut this side just on a chuck rather than with a tenon like that. Because I was in a hurry. I was just trying to figure out what we're doing. So, all right. Anytime you're off center, make sure you turn that thing around, that workpiece. So, because it's not the same. Just because you get one side lined up doesn't mean it's all around. Okay, so now we're gonna do this a whole lot of wood removing. I'm just thinking, we may want to put a tenon here now, so we can do the hollowing still. And I'll do the same thing here. I think that should be about right. Okay. That's how I broke my gouge. I'm fanatic when it comes to the tenons. Who said that? And there's a good reason. It's the tenon that holds that piece on the lathe. So if you don't do that right and a piece takes off, it's no fun and it can hurt you. And if you don't do it clean and really cut it without fuzz, when you reverse the piece, it's never centered. Only if you cut that tenon just perfect, cut it, not scrape it, you're going to get, when the jaws come down on it, an even fit. face mask would be good for this. Wait a second. Yeah. Yeah, because this has to be done in steps basically, and once once I'm down to final thickness, this piece of the ring won't throw unevenness anymore. You know, right now it's still pretty uneven. So this should be about the thickness of the of this one here, almost. Not that it matters, but now if you want to cut that ring loose, it better be thin enough, because otherwise you have to cut too deep to cut it loose, and it just doesn't work well. So I'm going to make this a little thinner, just to demonstrate how we cut it loose. Okay, so is there a readout? Well, then I wouldn't know. I as for no, I think it's 93. Yeah, no, I have no clue, to tell you the truth. Yeah, that's about, you know, as long as you're comfortable. The speed is not critical. The faster you go on something like this, the easier it is to cut the, you know, off-center stuff. But otherwise, the speed doesn't really mean a whole lot, okay? Whatever is comfortable is fine. The only difference is the slower you go, the slower you have to move your tool also. The faster you turn, the faster you can move your tool, because there's a direct relationship between the speed of the lathe going and your tool cutting into it. Your tool should not be cutting, you should not be pushing the tool any faster than it can actually cut a spiral down the piece of wood. So yeah. If if you want contours, yeah. So making the first one thin, thicker, thicker, thicker. I let me put this very simple. You can cut it anywhere you like, as long as it doesn't fall off. You know, I don't, well, no, yeah, but that's what she said no. A flat, solid ring. Yeah. Okay, so one is thinner, the next one is thicker. Yeah. Like, like there. Now that would be the next one. Yeah. 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 Well, I mean, as long as physics allows it, you can do it. You, you can do this. You could have done it from the other side too, but you can't cut them loose. Okay, yeah. All right. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time making this really fancy. Just going to go through the motion here. So like I said earlier, to do this really nice, you just have to take more time to get perfect cuts and everything. So, okay, so since this side is pretty close, I can go with the ruler on this side, or I can measure the actual thickness. And right now I have about 1 millimeter thinner out on the top than on the bottom. So you get just a little bit as I go down. It's not a whole lot, so I'll try to keep it as even as possible, as long as possible. I use this spindle gouge for a lot of stuff. You can make that ring paper thin, or you just have to consider what kind of wood you have and the strength, because if you make this really thin, one side of it, depending on how you do it, this is another thing, grain orientation in this, I had looked at this at home. The grain in this particular piece goes this way because I want the grain to support the longer part. If I have the grain going this way, I can very easily break that ring. Okay, so there's some some little considerations that you would have if you're gonna, yeah. Yeah, you can do both, but if you do end grain, it's going to be even more fragile all around. Yeah, or you sell it more expensive and make it clear to them that if they break it, it's too bad. Wait a second. Bernard, I didn't hear. Well, that wobble you avoid by going step by step. Once you have a certain amount hangover, it's going to go that way, no matter what you do. So you're going to have to take it down step by step. This thing keeps getting louder. As this one is now, if I go back way to the outside, I'm going to start getting shadow out there, and so I can't go back there. This is it. All right, so now I have to take a look, see where I am. I'll finish this thing here. Now, when I make these with a fancy burl, I did some with red marley. Of course, I'm going to take a lot more time and you know, do this very carefully. For example, you want to first of all make sure that you have the same thickness, so we got to go a little bit more here. You want to make sure that if you put the calipers all the way down, they should be straight and not this way. So meaning that I want to come right across on the top and on the bottom. So you know, it's just something that doesn't happen in seconds. You have to take your time with it. I've done some things being desperate to, after I got too thin and trying to get these sides really nice, I would take the jam chuck and I cut a hole in it and I seat the what do you call it, the ring or the wing right against the chuck so that it can't wobble. So there are ways to get around that if you really want to. But all those things, you know, I may take maybe half a day or maybe even a whole day and play with something like this in my shop. You know, it's not that. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have that time anymore. So now I'm in my shop at nights again. So. Okay, so I think we're pretty much there. Okay. No. The diameter is you're talking the thickness. Oh, the diameter. Yes, yes. That would definitely help. Yes, yes. That would definitely help. The other thing is you want to, if you want to cut that ring loose, right now would be a good time to do it actually, because you don't want to do it. Well, you want to do it after you're done cutting right around the corner of the ring, but you also want to do it before you re-chuck it. Now, if your tenons and everything is good, you can do it anytime, and we're going to probably, let me see some. If I can clean this up, maybe we'll do it now, but yeah, I'm not too worried. I'll stop when you guys kick me off, that's all. What did I say? Try this, make sure it doesn't hit, especially if your tool rest comes on an angle. You set it up like this, and it's sticking over, and then you turn it on, and it's all over. Don't bother. I'm coming right back.
What are you doing now?
I'm just cleaning up the bottom, the corner where the ring is. Okay, so I get a nice clean. What does it look like, Brian? Is it about as good? Okay. Huh? Oh, I worry. Let's see. This one is a little higher? Okay. Okay. Now, remember what I said. The time to do this is when this is perfect, and I probably shouldn't do it just yet, but this wood is kind of soft. I'm a little bit concerned that if I re-chuck it, I may not be perfect in there, and then. So I'm trying to decide whether to cut that ring loose now or whether to wait. What do you say? Cut it now? It doesn't matter. If I don't like it, I tape it. But once once the once the lathe gets turned on, the thing will spin along just like this. All right, we'll cut it loose. You all want it loose? We'll cut it loose. Well, worst case, we'll just break it off if it doesn't work right. Yeah, it's a little thick for this purpose, but we should be okay. I'm cutting it loose. My finger. Yeah. Yeah. I'll show it to you after I get this loose. The special German vitamins. Yeah. I'll show you when I get done. Wait a second. Ouch. Yeah, it'll be there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just a thin little parting tool. Yeah, I should have sharpened it. Yeah, I gotta sharpen it a little bit. I should have put a handle on it too. Oh, it's a lot better sharp. Okay. The ring is a little thick for this trick, but now you have to go on an angle, because if you don't go on an angle, if you go straight, it'll come right off, you know. It sounds like we're almost there. Okay. All right, yeah, you can pass this around. Nah, it's not that hot. After you sharpen it, it doesn't get that hot. Very primitive little tool, no big deal. Okay, so now we got the ring cut loose. It won't come off because it is so thick, and I could have aimed it a little bit better, I suppose, but okay. All right, so now we're going to shape the bottom a little bit. Excuse me? The last thing we're going to do is we're going to finish the bottom. Right now, I just want to shape the bottom so I get an idea what I want to hollow. And you could have hollowed it first and then do the bottom, which the piece I did last night, I did that way, because I didn't want to chuck it again. Yeah, but that's not a problem, because see, the piece is not a problem, so. let's rechuck it and then we finish the other side. So, something is missing here. Did I lose the handle? Here it is. I destroyed the machine already. Okay. Okay, so now we'll turn it around. Turn it around and hope this is, uh-oh. We went off. Okay, no problem. I made the tenon too small. No, 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 no. We won't do that. Okay. There we go. No problem. That's why I brought the long chuck. That's right. Okay, so we're kind of stuck with the shape of the bowl, the way I went about this. So we might as well go for it now. You can probably go faster on this. Now, let me warn you about one thing about this one. If you have a loose ring, don't go too fast, because there could be weak spots in this ring, and it just takes off. I lost a few of them on just going too fast with the centrifugal force. It ripped the ring right off of it, especially if you make them thin. Now, that's another thing. If you cut the ring at this time, see, we could have cut it now too after I was all done. That would have been my preferred method. If you cut the ring too deep and you make this wall too thin, you're going to have the top of the bowl in your hand. Everything is going to be going all over the place. So, and it sounded a little bit flimsy in there, but it's okay. Now, the other thing you have to watch out for, if you're going to slant the top of this later, make sure that the wall thickness here is even, because when you slant it and the bottom is thicker, the wall thickness of the top of the slant is going to be uneven too. So you want to make sure that's straight. I mean, there's a whole lot of little things. Again, I'm not going to worry about all of them too much. Okay. So, and some people feel that the wall thickness of the vessel should be about the same as the ring, but that's a matter of taste, and it depends on what type of wood and what, if you have a nice burl that's strong enough to hold it, you can make this as thin as you like, and you still leave this a little bit thicker. Okay, so now we need to measure this a little bit. Where did I put it? Here it is. So I want to get an idea. And the way I do this is I measure the bottom, and then I bring it back up, and it tells me how much I have to cut on the bottom, and it's about half of this. So once you pass the place where you're going to slant it, it's not critical anymore because then you can't see it anymore. I could. What I would do on one of these, what I would like to do is put a sphere as a lid. Now I'm in real trouble because I can't see anything in there. Yeah, it's okay. I don't know. Let me. Do we have it? It would be nice. Not necessary, but nice. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I like the support. Okay. Well, we can dig some more. I don't need to see what I'm doing there. Ha! Now, the gouge I broke yesterday was the one that I usually use for the bottom. So, let me see. Maybe I can use this one here. That's it for the bulb. Oh, no. Oh, cool. Oh, wow. It looks good. Does it look better on the screen too? No? How's that? All right. Now, I'm convinced that the trick to get a nice cut is that you cut the right thickness. If you cut too thick, it's going to cut rough. If you cut too thin, you don't have enough guidance. And if you get it just right once in a while, it does a nice job. See, this is not too bad now. Now, we could probably go a little deeper. Yeah, we should go a little bit more because otherwise it'll be too thick. I will do this again. Let me see if I have a... Just a little bit. That's good. Okay. So a little sanding will take care of the inside. This would be the time to do that. I didn't bring any sandpaper. Okay, so now I would sand everything that's exposed at this point. And okay. All right. Good enough. Good enough for Nokia. This part out here could be cleaned up yet. Good enough for Nokia Siemens, huh? Or for the military. Okay. I'm actually burnishing this a little bit since I don't have sandpaper. The top we may cut yet if we have time. How much time we got, Pete? Tim? Huh? Till I get done? Okay. In Utah, the first demo I did in Utah, I went through the thing in half the time. You know, I had twice as much time than I had figured because I was so nervous. I whipped through this thing, and I was done in the middle the session. So I made two of the items that I had planned, only one. So I learned one thing: don't rush it too much. Okay. Well, yeah, I got paid for the time, not for the pieces, you know. Okay, so now there are many ways you can do this. You can get a smaller chuck and put it in there. You can probably, this is an interesting thought, you can probably put it in here, and if there's enough play, let me see how that works. Maybe we can go that way. Yeah, it's not too straight. Huh? I didn't crunch down on it, but I was hoping to get into the groove I cut this loose on, but it's not. No, I wouldn't recommend that. That's why I didn't do it either. If it was smaller and the chuck was almost closed, then it wouldn't do much damage. But at this point, these corners would definitely leave an impression. So we're not going to do that. All right, not bad so far. Excuse me? Pad the chuck. I never do. But you can actually get chucks with nylon jaws, and but there's a trade-off, you know. If you don't damage the piece, and you put it in a chuck to hold it, how much can you hold it? So you're going to have to be real gentle, and if you're going to be that gentle about it, you can just take a piece of wood and use a jam chuck. So we can do this now. The one yesterday was a little smaller, so. Okay, so now we'll make jam chuck. Let's see here. This is the other, here it is. And I don't know if you noticed, I got most of my handles, I can extend a little bit with a little aluminum pipe, which works really good. Is Zig here? Zig is not here. Zig made this handle for me. And when we got these tools from Thompson, he made this handle for me. So I modified it a little, and it's really, I'm getting used to it. And I put a knobby on there. I saw that from Soren Berger, and I'm getting used to using the knobby to hold. This is working out real good. I never thought I always liked my wooden handles, but all right, now this piece of wood is end grain, so I can go this way. It would be tougher to go this way, see, just dust. However, if I go this way, I can get him. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, oh my God. The reason this works so nice is because it's just doing a peeling cut right off the end grain. All right, let's see where we are. Yeah, too small already. Yeah. Yeah, that's the, got pay for, payback, Or it'll give me another chance. Where did he go? Okay. Sorry, I really feel bad now. The nice thing about jam chucks, I really like jam chucks, because at least for 15 minutes, they're about as true as they'll get. So if you take a green piece of wood and you make a jam chuck, you're good for 15, 20 minutes, but they're perfect. Then the next day they may not be anymore. But vacuum chucks are never perfect. Only if you're lucky. Nah, it doesn't really matter. The end grain piece will stay true about 20 minutes instead of 15. But it turns out this piece was the inside of a bowl. And so I just grabbed it laying on the floor. Okay. All right, so now since I cut this already, I don't have to get in here anymore, so this can stay big. If I needed to finish the top here and then cut the ring off, which this would have been the time to do it, I would have cut away all this wood so I can get in there. But in this case, okay. Okay, I think just a hair, because what happens here, this wood is wet, this is bone dry, and once the moisture transfers into here, it's going to swell, and it's going to be really rough to get off of here. So I'm going to I'm going to cut off just a hair more. And the thing to do it just perfect fit and then put a piece of tape. Then you avoid the moisture transfer in a hurry, and you can control the diameter. See, now this with a piece of tape would be just perfect, but this will be okay. One other thing before you put this on here, get a measurement, find out how much room you have, see what the thickness of the thing is. And this one is pretty thick because I didn't dig it out as far as I could. So I have this much on the bottom, so I can whittle away a whole lot of stuff. I leave this right here so I can see it. I lose that reference if I cut the center. I'm gonna leave the center until I'm ready to cut that too. Yeah. I like jam chucks anyway. Okay, so I got 3 centimeters, and I don't need more than 1, so I can take 2 out of here. So I can actually measure this and mark this also. You know, there are different ways you can do this. So now, the thing to do is to put the tailstock back against it, so the piece doesn't take off on you. Like that. Where'd it go? Oh, okay. It's a strong piece, you know. All right, we'll use the tailstock. Nah, not yet. Actually, if I had the tape would have been just the difference between taking off and staying on there. All right, we'll use the jam chuck. We'll use the tailstock. See, I try to save time. Do we have any tape here by any chance? No. Is there? That would be great. Now, even if I use the tape, I would have normally, if I don't want to show off, I would have normally put the tailstock on and move as much wood as necessary. I know. Okay, thanks. Okay, that should be about that's 1.5. We need another. So now my bottom is just about 10 millimeters, which is enough to cut a little bit more. Yeah, it's loose. Well, that last cut made it too loose. All right, solution simple. We'll make it a little deeper. This thing isn't working anymore. Huh? You mean I should trim the front off? Yeah, wouldn't hurt any. Doesn't do anything there anyway. Okay. Okay, it's too tight. I'm already in trouble here. Now we're going to make that last cut again. That's why you gotta have tape. You gotta have tape. No. Yeah. No, well, you can do that too, actually, but I wasn't going to go that far. Okay. All right. All right, we'll try this again now. We'll try it again. Oh, okay. No. We'll see when it flies off again. Throw it back. Sucker is he thinks he's trying to get away, you know. There's no way he's going to get away, you know. You got 7 minutes left? Oh, okay. Then I have to throw it at least once more. You mean redo this? Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, we can do that. Oh, okay. No problem then. Well, the offset cut I can't do until the bottom is done, you know. You know what it is? The gouge is dull. That's what it must be. Well, I brought this one. In the event that this one keeps flying off, we'll do the offset on this one. All right. Now I'm going to keep pressure on it that way so it can't go anywhere. You comedian? I can throw this that direction too, you know. too bad. It's pretty tough wood, you know. Yeah, I know. Okay. Okay. The it's about the bottom is the 1 centimeter, 10 millimeter, and a little bit thicker on here. So we can do this again. We just have to watch out we don't go through the bottom, and we don't make the top any thinner where the ring is, because then the ring will come loose. So we got to come out just perfect where the ring is attached. There, that's good enough. All right, now if you again, if I had all day to play with this, I may make this paper thin and sand it and do all this crazy stuff. So now let's see. This last cut wasn't the greatest, but okay. So now, in order to now you have to think again, and this is tough. If you want to slant this thing, you want to make sure. Thanks. You can slant it, you know, like this, or like this, depending on what you want to do. Well, I know, but with the fixed one, it makes a big difference, because with the fixed one, if you can go this way or you can go this way. Where with the loose ring, you can do whatever you want to. So you can get this effect, or you can get this effect. Which one is better? I tend to agree. I would go for this too. Again, with the loose ring, that's the advantage of having a loose ring. So now we need a jam chuck. We got to get this in there, and then off-center it, and then cut the top. Yeah. If the ring wasn't loose, you would have to really think now. Now you may still, if you had grain, you still have to think, because if you want to match the grain later, then you have to cut it in the right direction. We're not going to worry about that today. Thinking is too tough. Okay. Yeah, because you may do it 180 degrees. I mean, depending on what you're trying to accomplish, you know. Get an idea. We need a lot more. We're close enough, actually. It's not very. It doesn't have to be very deep. See, I'm going to be able to use the tailstock, so that's already enough. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah. That's why I'm leaving this part on. You get any shavings there? All right. Okay. Okay, good enough. So now, I brought my tail stock, and I brought my dandy knobbies. Actually, I can use a different one here today. Let me try this one here. Okay, here we go. Make sure it clears. Now, again, you could mark this up with a pencil. We're coming pretty, I don't have a pencil here, so I think it's, what you can't do, you can't readjust it easily, okay? So if you, once you take your pick, if you readjust this, you have to stay perfectly on that same axis somehow, because otherwise you're going to get multi faces on there. So anyway, here we go. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. This is a nasty cut. Okay. Okay. We could do more, but we're not. On the bottom side. Yeah, if that's what you wanted to do, you would have to, you could do that. You guys got ideas you never thought of. I don't know. What? Thanks. The bottom could be a little bit more refined. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, it should come. Yeah, but you know. Oh yeah, that's why I say if I'm going to do this at home, I'm going to spend a lot more time refining this.